Hello everyone, CrystalFissure here, and welcome to a new Spyro video. This time we are looking at yet another fan game. This time a fan game made by Cyreides, among an upcoming cast of presumably more people as the project gets bigger. We also have Vgripps working on it, but this is primarily, at least at the start of development, Cyreides' project. He is making a Spyro 4. In air quotes, not really Spyro 4 anymore. It was originally went by the working title of Spyro 4. Now it is Spyro Myths Awaken. This is a trailer that he recently uploaded. He actually uploaded about a week or so ago, so a lot of things have changed since then. But he thought he'd put it up. He thought that I should do a video about it as well, discussing not just the trailer, which really the trailer reveals a few little things, a couple levels, but where all the interesting stuff is going to come from is essentially the Spyro Discord server, where we actually discuss these Fangame developments, and also he has sent me a bunch of files. All relating to the development of the game, which you guys are going to now be able to see as well. So we've got the trailer here, the logo, must I say the logo, of course not the most important thing, but the logo looks awesome. Before I get into some more other footage, I'm going to quickly show off the Sky Kingdom. This is, again, I just have to reinforce that all of this stuff is an old build. Like, all of it is from, a lot of it's from months ago, some of it's from weeks ago, but even, as you know, in game development, so many things change in weeks. Towards the end of the video, I'll show you exactly what the level of the game looked like originally. It originally was completely different to this. There's been quite a creative process, I think, in order to make the game tonally shift from being some kind of PS2, PS3 era game into a more PS1 style. And I think, one of the things I always say about game development and like fan game development is I think some people bite off more than they can chew. And, they end up trying to make games like PS2, PS3 with teams of 1, 2, 3 people who may not even be trained in significant video game development, or have like significant video game development skills, like professional grade, graduate sort of grade stuff. And that's not to denigrate anyone that's worked on a fan game. They're far more talented than I could be in terms of game development. But I think the cool thing about this is that, the game looks young. It looks like an old Spyro game. So that was the first homeworld, very, very rough, old sort of footage. The skybox isn't done and stuff like that. Then here we have Bags Jr. You may have seen him in a GBA Spyro game, but he is returning. And must I say that this is probably the best incarnation of Bags Jr. we'll ever see, because, obviously PS1 style to GBA style, we know what looks better, or at least in my opinion. We have some boss footage here as well, or not footage, but boss picture. This is like a Cerberus sort of type guy. We have the Professor. Of course, the Professor is making a return. We have, I think this is the Kraken. I believe, like one of the bosses. There's going to be 4 bosses. And this is Medusa here, looking pretty fine, looking pretty cool. Again, because some people like complain about like the state of the development. Some people, and I'm not to single anyone out, but like some people have sort of said like, oh, a lot of you got to get the fundamentals right and stuff like that with the controls, and you got to do that. And it's like, I do agree, but a lot of the stuff that they show off, it's to placate people, just to keep people updated, like, because they want to feel like they're sort of involved in the game development process. And I think that starting it early like this, having footage like this now, is fine. I think it's a great idea actually, because you get to see how a game evolves over time. You think about modern game development cycles and stuff like that. You barely see anything. You don't see any alpha material for the most part, and if it is, it's still pretty far away along in development anyway. Anyway, let's keep discussing the game. Here's some more GIFs / sort of concept art, I guess, showing the early. This is actually the first level. This is like the first homeworld, Sky Kingdom. It's a nice little GIF of the water. Notice the water effects, obviously from the original Spyro games, to keep everything authentic. When you look at that top down, it looks exactly like a Spyro level, like in one of those Prima guides, like one of those like guidebooks they used to get back in the day. You got a whirlwind as well, which is looking great. I think it looks really, really cool. It looks very much like the originals, of course. And then here's some more in-engine stuff. There, obviously, Cyreides is using Unity to develop the game. Very, very popular game development software. Here's a first quick look at Dreary Valley, which is a new level that he's been working on recently. I love the textures, everything's sort of very dark and mysterious. This is something from Windmill Way as well. Windmill Way is one of the most developed levels of the game so far. And here's Windmill Way again. This actually, you'll notice it looks very much like when you put the line effect on in the Spyro world viewer, because essentially Vgripps is like a master at level design, I feel like, and sort of making it look in that Spyro way, that Spyro Windmill way. So now I want to show off some more levels, some more pictures. This is a level that Cyreides has designed himself. Very, very purple, very dark. And then I want to also talk about the whole conceptual, like the whole concept of the game and the duality that they're going to be trying to develop throughout the game as well, kind of like Spyro 2-esque. There's a lot to discuss here. I said this to Cyreides when I was told him I was going to make the video, that this was going to be a haphazard cluster F mess in terms of like actually trying to explain everything. I just want to give you guys just a massive, gigantic info dump, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure this is Mystic Forest. I think that's what the level is called. And I absolutely love the way Mystic Forest looks. Just that purple, that darkness to it. There's such a... I feel like this level would look so good with a Spyro 1-esque skybox. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's vibrant even though it's so dark, and that's a hard thing to do. Like, Spyro 1 sort of has almost a depressing look in some of the worlds, some of the Beastmaker stuff especially, it almost looks washed out. This is almost like Spyro 1, but with like a Spyro 2 and 3 charm. And essentially this game is meant to be viewed as a sequel to Spyro 3. So I totally understand that sort of the tonal style he's actually going for, or everyone involved with development is going for. I want to be sure to give credit to everyone who deserves credit, but at this point we got to sort of figure out exactly who's doing what and stuff like that, because I'm sure that there will be more people helping out. For example, MonacledPotato with the Spyro model has kindly sent Cyreides his model, and like there'll be tweaks made to it and stuff like that. And don't worry about like the way in which Spyro controls right now. That's all in development, and it's actually kind of a bit dependent on how the Spring Savanna project goes as well. So don't worry about that. Everything's looking cool, I think. So in terms of the amount of levels and everything, there are going to be 4 homeworlds: Sky Kingdom, Deep Waters, Inferno Caverns, and Crystal Range. There are going to be 4 Sparks realms, and if you stay to the end of the video, you're going to see some stuff to do with Sparks. It's very, very exciting. Maybe you can just skip ahead, but yeah, very, very cool stuff. 4 boss realms, which include Griffin's Nest, Kraken's Lair, Cerberus's Cave, and Medusa's Tomb. 4 mini boss realms, and 24 regular realms. Now that's crazy. Like, what I've discussed this with Cyreides in terms of how many levels there are. This may not be final. This is just what is planned, and he said that he'd rather try and go out and make this like a sequel to Spyro 3 as much as he can, than make it so short that it just feels like a game you can complete in an hour. Do I think that he'll be able to get to what will equate to essentially 40 plus levels? I don't know, but I think that once a lot of the game development stuff is actually out of the way, like the actual engine stuff, I think that level design and stuff like that, when you have multiple people on the team with multiple ideas and stuff like that, and Spyro as an influence, I don't think that'll be as hard as people think, but we'll have to see for now. The game is going to have sort of a duality aspect of it with like sister levels type thing. An example of that would be the forest level I was talking about before. For example, Canvas Falls and Dreary Valley, or Dreary Valley's dreary, obviously, that's pretty obvious. Canvas Falls, which I haven't showed anything of yet, is meant to be sort of pastel, happy sort of thing. Then you've got like Mystical Forest, like magical, natural, life-giving, and then Industrial Barrens being the opposite, like machinery, steampunk-esque, lifeless, and colors to reflect that. So it's a simple detail, but it adds depth to the game. It adds depth to the level design as well. And I think that, with that in mind, having lots of levels yeah, it's the least of the worries, and there will be beta testers as well, alpha testers. There's going to be more people, I think, that will be involved in the development, already with the whole loose connection to Spring Savanna. So I think that it's exciting stuff. I mean, all the fan games, yes, people do make complaints, and I think that some of them are rightful. Like things take forever, go slow. Why don't you just release shorter games and stuff like that? But I think that we're still ironing out the kinks of a Spyro 3D game, even Spyro 2D game. So I think that with that in mind, the only place to go, I guess, is up. We're going to get better. We're going to get like a definitive Spyro model eventually. We're going to get a Unity Spyro model that will be perfect, which will then, I believe, will go open source. And so then people will be able to, and that's like the big hurdle, is like the controls and stuff like that, and texture design and stuff like that. And the more people that do this, the better we get. I mean, look at how far games like Sonic fan games have came, or other fan games. Remember that Chrono Trigger 3D remake thing that ended up getting cancelled. But for example, there's just been so much game development and fan development, and people are getting better and better, so don't worry about that. Anyway, I think I've rambled enough. Now it's time to have a look at the sparks mechanic. Now, firstly, how good do the gems look? I believe they've been ripped. I'm pretty sure they've actually have been ripped from the original game, and that's why they look so good. The original gems just cannot be beat. Like, there's just something so great about them. But this is looking awesome so far. Loving this is obviously clearly connected to the forest level in terms of the environment and stuff like that, which is very cool, having like sparks sections. I'm not quite clued into how everything with sparks is going to work yet, but all I know is that this is a pretty damn good sign so far. I believe Pinball Dude 97, who's working on Morta's Mayhem, helped Cyreides out with this. So that's pretty cool. So thanks to him. He's still, hopefully we'll get some updates with Morta's Mayhem related content very soon as well. Everything's happening in the Spyro fan game community right now. It's an exciting time. But yeah, this is awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video though. I thought I'd end it on this one. I thought I'd end it on Sparks with like the last little bit of info I can squeeze from the rock of Cyreides. Take that, that's quite a strange way of wording that, but yeah, thank you for watching guys, and I shall see you very, very soon with some more. There'll be plenty more updates on this game, that's for sure. Cyreides is very, very good in terms of like keeping everyone updated and stuff like that, so it's gonna be fantastic. Thank you guys, see you later.